Hello and welcome back to Varsity. So we are here for the swimming today between University of Leicester and De Montfort Union. So we are here. The teams are both currently warming up. It's been going on for about 10 minutes now, so it's coming towards the end of warm-up. So we've got a few races lined up for you today. It's going to be an interesting, to say the least, competition here. UL usually dominate this sport. However, we've got some few sort of secret team members who have come in this year. They're very strong. DMU are feeling positive. So hopefully, very hopefully, we may stand a chance at De Montfort, DMU actually pushing through to gain a few points here for Varsity. But hopefully we'll be getting started soon. We're going to be starting with a relay this year instead of a usual single race. So we've got 50-metre races this year and 100-metre races, and we've got a brand new 200-metre race coming up, which could make it rather interesting for our swimmers, because we've got especially UOL who have got a very, very strong team for the 200 metres. So, but at the moment, some of the swimmers are definitely getting warmed up. DMU are looking positive, but we're now just waiting for the start, and hopefully it won't be long before we get this show on the road, really. But yeah, for those who don't usually swim a bit, so we're going to have 4 different strokes for the races. So we've got breaststroke, front stroke, or also known as freestyle, backstroke, and breaststroke. And there's also races called the IMs, or the individual medleys. So that's where the racer has to do all 4 of the strokes, usually starting with backstroke, going into fly, then breast, then freestyle. So it'll be interesting to see how well we are this year. We've had a few injuries within the team, a bit of illness has gone round, but we're definitely we're coming back strong. We're looking to put some points on the table, and we're feeling good. So it won't be too long before the show actually kicks off. So all the team captains at DMU seem to be having a bit of a team chat currently. So hopefully they're getting their heads cracked down. But UOL still seem relatively relaxed, but we'll see what it's like after the first race. So welcome to any new viewers we have. We're currently here on Demon TV, live streaming the swimming event for Varsity of 2019. The warm-ups are still going underway, so the racing will begin shortly. But for now, I'm just going to explain how the races work. So we have 50, 100 and 200 metre races, and we have relays. So within the relay, there's four swimmers. Depending on whether or not it's a medley or a freestyle, depends on what stroke they do. So if it's a freestyle, they can choose what stroke they do. So usually it's front crawl, it's nice and quick, streamline, it gets the quicker time, so teams will be going for that. However, with the medley, they'll have to choose one racer to do each of the strokes. So that is backstroke, front stroke, breaststroke and fly. And each of them will do 50 metres within the relay before changing over to the next. So they will usually start with a backstroke before changing into whatever stroke they wish to do next, usually fly after that. But each race is ranked points-wise, to find out who is the winner at the end of the day. So in individual races, it is the points go at 4 points for first place, 3 points for second, 2 points for third, and guess what? 1 point for fourth. However, in the relays, it is double points. So the relays are very, very important. You can close a gap quickly by winning a relay. So it is 8 points for first, 6 points for second, 4 points for third, and as you can guess, 2 points for fourth. So both teams A and B will be scoring, and C and D will not be scoring. However, they will still be definitely trying their best to try and get bragging rights over University of Leicester or DMU, depending on where they come from. So, but at the moment, the A and B squad for UOL is definitely looking a very, very strong team. But we will see. We will see. There has been some surprising shocks for the whole of this varsity at the moment. So with dodgeball the other day, somehow the DMU team won it for the first time ever against University of Leicester. So could we have another shock here with swimming and having UOL beaten by DMU this year? But we will see. But the pool is definitely starting to quieten down. So I don't think it'll be long before we get going properly with these races. But as I said, with the relay, so we actually have a relay first this year, which is a bit of a change-up. But why not? It's always nice to have a bit of a change. It's something a bit fresh. So we're going to have the 4x50 metre medley relay. So that's both boys and girls. So that will not be long. So the teams are going to be having their talks between them, finding out who's doing which stroke, how they wish to approach these races. So it'll be rather interesting to see where they come from this and how well they can do it. And it's all over as well, being a 50 metre changeover. There's always that point you have to make a turn in between after the 25 mark. So not just the swimming can make an important difference. So you may not be a stronger swimmer here compared to your competitors, but if you muck your changeover up and you're ahead, that can cost everything really. Like if you do it wrong, there could be trouble. If you do it amazingly, you could gain extra seconds, quite vital seconds. So like swimming is like cycling. It's all about minimal gain. You're trying to reduce drag. You're trying to increase efficiency, increase the efficiency, especially coming from the way you use your stroke. So it'll be interesting to see how the teams have conditioned themselves. But we'll be back with you shortly, where hopefully we'll be having the relay starting it, kicking it off first. But for now, we'll see you in a bit.
I'd be like, yeah, that's... Just make comments like, go on, look at that, number 5. If you can do that.
So there we go, that is our first race that has been announced officially. So the teams for the A and B girls medley relay, 4x50 medley relay, are currently lining up. There's an interesting lineup this year for the medley. So for the A squad for University of Leicester, we have Katrin Scittione, Grace McKill, Megan Armitage and Emma Lead. And for University of De Montfort University, we have Taylor, Catherine Flint, Georgia Davids and Georgia Matoni. And then for our B squads, we have from University of Leicester for Charlie Deshy, Lauren Sturt, Beth Collins and Georgina Dollins. And for the B squad for De Montfort University, we have Frankie Scudo, Emily Wheatley, Jess Payne and Lauren Tier. So this is going to be an interesting relay. The teams are currently lining up, getting ready, getting their hats and their goggles on, very important parts. Yeah, sorry about that little bit of interference you may have heard there. That is from the system where we are, so don't worry about that. Speakers are going at QE2 currently, so we're just going to be, don't have to worry about that. Yeah, as I said earlier, it's a 4-leg relay. The teams are going to have, it's a medley relay, so they are going to have to do all 4 strokes between them with 50 metres each. I believe it is Katrine Sciotti, Taylor, Charlie Deshy and Frankie Scudo starting us off for the 4 races. And they've entered the pool, so they're just getting ready. So his backstroke is the first stroke. And they're off. So after this short-legged dolphin, who's going to be in the lead? So currently after the first, we have University of Leicester have already taken the lead slightly, but the 2 middle lanes are coming up very, very quickly. How are they going to go into the first turn? And they've done a lovely tumble turn. But coming up, are we going to see a different change into leadership?
What do you think? Who's going to win?
I definitely think this is the University of Leicester who are going to be dominating. It is at first, they're currently like 1 and 2. But it's very close for 3rd place and 2nd place. Who is it going to be? And the first changeover occurs.
They are already in lead.
But it's interesting, DMU have managed to slip their way nice and comfortably, quite clearly, over that changeover into 2nd place with, I believe that is the actual A team of Leicester falling over. But we have our DMU 2nd team. They are sadly slightly falling behind. But you never know with relays, they could well still be in it. But that gap definitely seems to be closing between UOL and DMU. So I believe that is, believe we are closing it quite quickly. And they're onto their 3rd stroke, and there you go, the changeover has happened for UOL. There's a couple of seconds delay before we have DMU come in, and the fly section is underway. There's a lovely bit of technique from both the swimmers, and 3rd leg is just coming up. They definitely seem to be catching on the first 2 as well, which is rather interesting. The University of Leicester seem to have taken a firm grasp on this first race. They're clearly hoping to get as many points on the board early on as possible, get as many points on, and there we go. The changeover for this is the last leg of the relay. Yeah, and it is the freestyle leg, and my gosh, they are flying. They're absolutely going. Look at the water coming up. They're really going for it. Thank gosh that the QE2 have put on the anti-wave system, boys. Otherwise, there could be a lot of splashback into their fellow lanes. But this is a very, for 2nd and 3rd, there is a very interesting match-off between DMU and the 2nd UOL team. It's going to be really tight, and they're just going for it. It's literally the last 5 metres. And I believe that was UOL who just about managed to sneak into 2nd there. Just on that last leg, but DMU worked that hard. And Georgia did really bring that home hard. She was swimming everything she'd got. But that's going to be interesting to see how the result actually goes to that, because from what I can see here, I'm pretty sure that was UOL. What's your opinion on this?
it was pretty close though, because they were both lapping really hard. It was literally it went like last second.
It was literally like the last
Fraction of
flags.
seconds.
But there we go. So that is the first race underway. So it's of course going to be, I believe it's the boys up next for the A and B squad. So it's going to be interesting to see if UOL once again take a firm stand.
That's going to be really competitive as well.
That's going to be really competitive. A and B squad. So as I said earlier, A and B are the only ones who actually score points. C and D, it's a competitive competition, but not for points. So as you expect, you still want in the friendly sense of competition, you want to have a good go at each other. You want to try and beat the opposition. But for C and D, it's not about points. They don't have to worry about that, whereas the varsity points are based. Oh, and here we go. DMU are definitely getting their thing on. They've got their chant going on.
Yeah.
They're clearly in a happy mood.
Really, really happy, and they're cheering up.
I have seen the list of chants. They've basically got a book out currently. Like they're really going for it. There's 4 or 5 chants we've got hidden behind our backs. Some of them are more requiring censoring than others, but they are what they are. And here we go, our second race is about to go underway.
University of Leicester is trying to prepare.
Oh, and I believe this is actually, it's not the boys race that's going next, it's going to be the girls C and D race up next.
Yeah, it has started.
Oh, and they're off. That was definitely a slower start there for DMU's team, but they've somehow managed to drag it back in quite well in their little dolphin kicking section, but it's still relatively tight up front.
They're going for it. Oh.
And on the first changeover, it seems to be a three-way draw between UOL, both their teams, and DMU's first, but they're definitely coming through. DMU have taken a firm grasp on this first leg. Can they keep it though? As we saw from the last race, DMU had a nice grasp on second place, and somehow UOL snuck in to steal it from them at last minute.
And there's a change.
Oh, and DMU have come into the first 2 teams, and it is into the breaststroke leg. And the DMU both teams have changed over.
They're going for it.
They're
really going for it.
However, UOL are definitely on their tail. They're coming back quickly.
Yeah.
So we've lost sight of them round the corner behind our spectators. But what's going to arise once they come back? And yet it's DMU in first, UOL in second, UOL in third, and DMU in fourth currently. But is it going to change? Because UOL definitely seem to be catching up their first place for DMU. So we're on to our fly, and they're off. And UOL are absolutely flying on this leg. The gap has already closed between DMU. The UOL crowd, they're going wild. But UOL have taken back the lead. This is what we say, it's not over in one leg. You may have a lead, but you've really got to work for it. All your team have to be really going for it to get the points on the table. So there's a 6.
Again?
There's a 6-second delay currently between first and second. But third, UOL's second team have caught up. They've caught up with DMU, and they're slightly overtaken. But it's going to be interesting to see after this turn who is it going to be coming into the last leg who just absolutely blasts it. But yeah, I think we can safely say that's once again a nice and firm grasp that UOL have put onto the points table, and they've taken the win. Nicely, but yeah, sadly, UOL, both their teams have caught up with DMU to finish 1 and 2, with DMU finishing 3rd and 4th in the ladies' C and D race for the 4x50 metre medley relay. Currently we're sat up in the gallery watching from the heights, being able to see all that's going on. We're crammed in here at the moment with a load of cameras so you can see it, and we've got so many spectators up here, which is brilliant. And here we go. So it's the men's 4x50 medley relay, and they're off. But that was a slow start there from Roy Weller, who is part of the A team. So in the A team for DMU, we have Roy Weller, Liam O'Keefe, Stephen Sullivan and Matt Addis. Whereas in the University of Leicester team, we have Owen Drabwell, Henry Butler, Will Butcher and Jake Spicer. And in the B team for UOL, we have Ben McCullen, Harry Faulkner, Alex Harringham and Nick Payne. And with DMU, we have Deck Evans, Harrison Waldis, Dan Todd and Gross Joe. And UOL have taken a firm 1-2 lead.
Yeah.
Can they catch up though? So this is definitely a strong leg for DMU on both teams. They've been training really hard for it. I've been training with them, watching, keeping an eye on them, making sure we've got a good chance in this thing, and they've really been flying. And their training's really, especially for the A and B team, they've been working really hard this year. We've not had a coach, sadly, compared to University of Leicester, who do have a coach, but we are really pushing it this year.
UOL has changed into...
Oh, it's the fly leg.
Oh, yeah. He's really flying into it.
They're literally flying away from DMU. But here we go. I believe this is Matt Addis, who is a really high, he's a regional level swimmer, so he stands a good chance for the DMU for breaking this gap and closing up. But there's now nearly a whole length of a pool, so a whole 25 metres between first and fourth. So yeah, this could be an interesting race. So we've got Josh Grobin on the fourth leg for DMU Bs, and he came third at Bucks this year for the paraplegic cycling. He suffers from cystic fibrosis, but he beats me in the pool. He absolutely flies through. He trains hard. He works well in the pool. He concentrates, and he's clearly getting it. The work result is clearly paying off. But there we go. So once again, it is a 1-2 result for University of Leicester, with shortly behind them in third place, in fourth place is DMU. But they're keeping their spirits high. They've not had the best starts with the relays, but you never know, they may change it round with the C and D race. But yeah, you may be able to hear in the background noise of us speaking. There's a lot of spectators here, there's a lot of chatting, there's a lot of cheering, and they've even got some of these cardboard sticks that they smack against each other, and it is making such a racket. The crowd has been going wild so far, which is brilliant to see. Yeah, so here's the C and D races. So starting the DMU C team off is Tom Woodley, and starting the D team off is Callum McKillick. But yeah, so we sadly haven't been given the team sheets for C and D with full names, so we're not too sure who's actually. But it actually seems that there's only one team for University of Leicester, so I'd say they've put their C team in and their D team has been dropped. So this could make it a lot. It doesn't matter for points wise, but yeah, as we said, so the D team for this medley, we have Tom Woodley, Thomas Ajani, Johnny Powdrill and Chris Tang for the C team for DMU, and Ben Brown, Harry McNamara, Callum McKillig and Daniel Gulliver for the D team. So we've got Ben coming up next. Is he going to make a start? And there you go, Thomas is in. So Thomas has got a very distinctive dive. He likes to stick his foot down like an anchor, but he's going for the breaststroke. He's really pushing it. He started the year in the D squad with me, and he's pushing his hard, he's training hard, and he's really pushing through the squad. So it'll be interesting to see next year whether or not he stays in C or whether or not he can push up into the A and B squads. But it's interesting to see because some of the third leg for University of Leicester, he's got quite a chiseled body, to say the least. Is all I'm going to say. Whereas he looks like a very, very strong swimmer. I'm surprised that he's in the C squad. Is this? And that was a cheeky little thumbs up there from UOL at the end. That was very interesting. They're clearly feeling comfortable.
Hard in this round.
He is. I get the feeling University of Leicester put a very sneaky A and B person into their C squad.
Maybe because of the change.
Yeah, they really opened it up there.
In the change.
But once again, University of Leicester have got a firm grip on this race.
Yeah, they're literally dominating.
They are. I'm hoping that we're going to have a bit of variation later on in the evening. So we are here all the way until 7:30. It's a long competition, and I do feel sorry for all our cameramen and ladies out there who are filming it for us, because they're currently stood here in jumpers. They can't leave their camera, and it is boiling in here. So there's a little cough from me there. I say it's really, really hot in here. Like, we're both sat here sweating. It must be a good 25, 30 degrees. It's toasting.
It's definitely that much.
And here we go. Give him a massive round of applause in. So this is Daniel Gulliver, who's bringing it in for the end for the D squad. He's only been swimming since Christmas, so it's really good to see him get right involved. He's got into varsity, and he's dived literally in head first. He's taken it in the swimmer's attitude and just dived for it. Just go for it. Jump right in the deep end, and there we go, and it's finished. So that is the first set of races done. So that was the 4x50 metre medley relays, and we are going to be going and moving on to the 100 metre individual medley. So like this race, there is 4 different strokes. However, there is only one person doing each stroke, and they only have to do it for 25 metres. So it will be the same layout in the fact they will start on backstroke, move into breast, then into fly, and then they will finally finish on front stroke. But yeah, they've got to swim 100 metres. That is 4 lengths of the pool. So it's a 25 metre pool here at QE2, and they'll have to swim 4 lengths, changing over their stroke each time, and making sure that they turn properly to avoid disqualification. So like all sports, there is very minute rules that people don't think about, but changeovers have to be done very carefully. Certain strokes require certain changeovers, just to make sure that they aren't disqualified. Even the strokes themselves, so breaststroke, there is certain techniques that you have to put in and certain things that has to happen, otherwise there will be a disqualification. But for the A and B squad, so for the girls, we have Katrine Scatoni and Catherine Flint in the A squads for DMU and University of Leicester, and Varsity Deshaw and Jess Paynes for B. And they're off. So Catherine was a very quick starter there. She's taken it. Oh, and they're starting with the fly this time actually. But Catherine Flint has definitely taken the strong lead for DMU. She's been training hard. She is she is the swim captain for the girls this year. She's been swimming hard. She's been making sure people are training. She's been taking a lot of training sessions herself. But it's a very close race between 1 and 3. But University of Leicester seem to have just taken over. Yeah, they've just taken over both first and second on this backstroke leg. But can they bring it back? Let's have a look. And switch over. And they are into breaststroke. But there we go. So we've brought it back here. It's back to 1 for University of Leicester and 2 for DMU. So they're closing the gap. They're closing it. It's a very strong stroke for Catherine, clearly. She's definitely closing that gap. However, the far side for the University of Leicester, this is clearly not their strongest stroke, whereas backstroke definitely wasn't Catherine's. But it's all on this last leg. Can Catherine close that gap? But either way, this is valuable points that are going onto the table. And can we see a last-minute change? Can we have Jess Payne bring it in to bring more than 1 point in? But that was a 1 finish for UOL and 2nd finish for Catherine. She looks exhausted. She's got several races today. She's definitely dominating the A squad. She's one of the best swimmers there, so you don't blame her to be in lots of races. And we're now going to be moving on to the C and D squad for the 100 metre individual medley. So for the C, I've just been given a list of names for the individual medley for the 100 metres for the University of Leicester. So we have Claire Robinson for the C squad, and we have Sarah Ateja for the D squad. So, but it is DMU currently in the lead. So DMU, we currently have for racing for the C squad for the 100-metre medley, we have Izzy and we have Tabby for the D squad. So Tabby seems to have taken this right in firm grips, but it is a very close race, so 1 and 2 after this first changeover. But as you can expect, this race, being 100 metres, is not about sprinting really. Like it is a sprint race, but at the same time, you can't go out too fast. 50 metres, that is a real sprint. 100 metres, at high level, it is a sprint, but here you've really got to pace yourself, otherwise it could go terribly wrong, and you could see yourself crash and burn at the last minute. But we have got a very interesting, we've got a clear divide at the moment, so we've got a first position over for the last changeover for University of Leicester, but it's close at the moment between DMU and University of Leicester C team. And it currently going past us, it is UOL 1, DMU 2 and University of Leicester 3. Can that gap, but it is very close between 2 and 3.
Yeah,
can it change? The last 5 metres.
Oh, and we're on second.
I definitely think that was a second for for DMU.
Yeah.
They did what University of Leicester did to us earlier. It was
really close.
That was really, really close. So I get the feeling there's going to be lots of close races, especially in the C and D squads.
Really, yeah.
They seem to be quite well matched this year, which is really good. But yeah, so that is the.
There's a lot of cheering on University of Leicester.
They've definitely come out in strength. There is loads of them.
Really happy.
But yeah, and here's the men's A squad. So we have lined up currently. So in the A team for the men's, it is Jake Spicer versus Matt Addis for the A team, and Harry Faulkner versus Deck Evans.
University of Leicester is in leading.
Yeah, it is Jake Spicer in the lead.
He's going for it.
He's really
literally like.
He's a strong. He clearly is. I've never seen him swim, but he's clearly a very strong swimmer. He's in a lot of their first team races. He seems to be most of their relays. He seems to be a key part of the team. There we go.
We're going on second with DMU.
Matt Addis is in second. Can he push through? So he's coming through into breaststroke. So as I said earlier, Matt Addis is a regional level swimmer. He is very good at what he does. And he is also, like Catherine, who was in our previous race for DMU, he is our swim captain for the boys. So he's the one who today has dragged everyone out of bed, made sure we're here, and given us the motivation just to carry on. But it's interesting seeing the different strokes between DMU and University of Leicester. And there we go. So it was University of Leicester first with Jake Spicer, Matt Addis in second, and then we move into the B squad who finished for University of Leicester, who finished third, which is Alex Harrington and then we have Dan. Is that Dan Todd? No, it is Deck Evans, who's in fourth place. But that was a very good show by Deck Evans. He's not had the best week. He's not really been at full fitness this week. He's had a horrible cold this week. He's been not been his full fitness. So it's interesting to see that he's, no matter what, he wasn't feeling too good this morning when I spoke to him this morning, but he still turned up. He still got here and just went, let's do this. And so we're here for the C and D squad for the 100-metre medley for the boys, or for the men I should say. But so they're off.
DMU is in lead here, surprisingly.
That is a very strong start from DMU, and that's good to see. We like to have. It's one of these things you've got to have as strong start as possible. So that is Harrison Waldis from DMU, who's in our C squad. So it is only a race for first and second this time, because both teams have not put in a second team, so they've only put in the C team for this. So for University of Leicester, we have got Ryan Paul, who was in the relay earlier. So Harrison is still in the lead after 2 legs. Can he keep it after the breaststroke?
Oh, University of Leicester is coming up.
That's definitely closing that gap.
Putting in all his efforts.
It's going to be interesting. This is definitely going to be one of these races that's dictated by the last event, in the last leg in the relay. Oh, and that's bang on equal. The crowd is currently going wild. DMU is going nuts, and it seems that there's and
Oh my God!
Harrison's
Look at
definitely
the
opened up the
crowd,
gap.
And look at
But they're swimming stroke perfect with each other.
It's a very much of a.
And,
Oh my God!
there we go.
It was really
That
close.
was close, but that was
so many close.
we're getting really close
Really?
races today. It is nuts. But that was Harrison Waldis who took that for the C team for DMU. So that's our first race we've won today. He's going to be feeling good about that, and going into his races later on, that's really going to suit him. But yeah, so that is the 100-metre medleys out the way. Coming up next, we have the 100-metre freestyle. So this, once again, 4 lengths of the pool, but it's whatever stroke they wish to do. They can choose to do whatever stroke they want, and however many times they want to do it. And so we have Emma Lees and Georgina Dolan for University of Leicester in this race, and Georgia Natomi and Emily Wheatley for DMU. But University of Leicester, for both their A and B squad, have taken a very firm lead on this first leg. Have they gone out too quickly though? We shall see. DMU seem to be pacing themselves nicely. It's whether or not they can catch that gap. There is currently a good about 3-metre gap between second and third, and about a 4 to 5 metre gap between first and second. And there we go, both the gap has opened up again between first and third, so that is both the first positions of each team. There is now about a 10-metre gap, so it's going to be interesting to see whether or not DMU can close this. So they're coming up to the 3/4 stage. And it is University of Leicester 1 and 2, DMU 3 and 4. Oh no, I was clearly not paying attention. They have just finished. That's me not paying. That's me looking at my notes when I shouldn't have been. So it finishes DMU 3 and 4, but University of Leicester once again taking a 1-2 victory. But then we're going to have the men's A and B race next. So that is going to be Henry Butler and Nick Payne for University of Leicester, and Josh Grove for the. And we're missing a name here. So we've got Josh Grove and Steve Sullivan. There we go. Once again, I've totally forgotten. We actually haven't got the A and B squad. The A and B for the men's. It's the C and D squad first for the ladies. So that means for DMU, it is currently Imogen and Melissa who are racing, and they are going to be racing against. So once again, I believe. Oh no, they've actually got a C and D squad this time for University of Leicester. So we've only got notes for the C squad for the ladies and the men's. We haven't got any names at all for the D squad. So this is a surprise that they've actually got a team in. When we were talking to the captain this morning for University of Leicester, he was struggling to put D squad together. They've been strife, like DMU, been strived with injuries and illness in the last few weeks. So it's interesting to see that in this race they've actually got a competitor come in for the D squad, but it is a firm lead for the C squad for University of Leicester, shortly followed by C and D of DMU, and then followed just after that by the D squad of University of Leicester. But it's quite a clear victory here for University of Leicester. But
there's a huge gap between number 1 and number 2.
Yeah, there's half a pole's length.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, what's this? The D squad have come right through and finished second. So that's really good for them. And it's just 2-3 finish for
and
DMU.
Third also has to be,
But as we said, so it is now my mistake for putting it too early. We have now got the A and B squad for the men's 100-metre individual medley. So we have Jake Spicer, not individual, it's freestyle, is it not? Oh, I'm really mucking these up today. I've got my spreadsheet everywhere. So it's Henry Butler and Nick Payne for the University of Leicester, and Josh Grove and Stephen Sullivan for DMU. So they're lined up ready. As you can hear, the crowd is going wild. It's still quite a close race. No major gaps have opened up yet, but it is only the first length. The story is still yet to unfold. But it is a very close 1-2 between University of Leicester. They're literally going they are within striking distance of each other. But DMU is sitting there like a dark horse. Could they come through and win this? They are literally shoulder on shoulder to the second place University of Leicester team. But as I said, there's literally half a body's length between first and third. It is really tight, this length. Is it who's going to win? So it is University of Leicester 1-2, and slightly, literally just after, it was a third for DMU. But that was probably one of the closest. We've had a couple of close races where it has only been a 1-2 close race. However, here the top three were decided in less than probably half a second. It was that close.
It just started, and it's so many close races.
There is. It's mad. It shows this. We've been asked quite a lot today. How long is this actually going to go on for? And they were like, why does it take so long? Like, we started coverage supposedly around about 4 o'clock, and we won't be finishing until 7. So it's only 4:30 at the moment.
Exactly, and we've already had like 2 or 3 really close races.
It's been really, really close. So we're here for the C and D squad for the 100-metre freestyle. So for the men's, we have Dominic Arcus for University of Leicester. And
Leicester is leading with number 2 and 3, University of Leicester and DMU.
And I don't believe DMU's only got a C team in this, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
and that is Tom Woodley, from what I can see. I don't even need to look at the spreadsheet. Tom has got such a distinctive style in the way he swims. But he's really pushing hard. He's coming through. So it's the halfway stage. It's University of Leicester 1 and 2, and DMU in third place. It's sad, as I said, we haven't got a D team in this one. Like University of Leicester, we've been struggling to put together a D team. I'm up here, so I sadly couldn't compete, and I'm out injured. We've had quite a few injuries within the D team. So, but it's interesting because as much as it's the C and D races don't have any importance points-wise, they can really, really strongly affect what happens within the races for A and B, because as you can expect, a lot of these races within the A and B, they're strong swimmers. They're doing multiple races. They're doing, some of them are doing 4, maybe even 5 races today. So if you think about it, if a race doesn't go ahead because there isn't races in it, then that cuts their recovery times. How well is this going to affect it? But we'll see. So there we go. So that is the first 3 events out of the way. So we've had the 4 by 50 metre medley relay. We've had the medley 100 metre individual medley, and we've had the 100 metre freestyle. Coming up next, we have the 100 metre backstroke. So it's the A and B women's race. And they're off. So that's interesting. So it's actually the fly race, not the backstroke. That's right. I've been given some notes, and they have got the wrong order on them. So clearly they've had a last-minute switch about of the fly and the backstroke. That's probably been put in place by some of the races, one in a bit of an extra gap because some of them have just competed. So for University of Leicester, so it's the 100 metre fly. So we've got Megan Armitage and Beth Collins for University of Leicester versus Imogen Groves, and who else have we got? We're missing a name once again. I'm going to have a quick look through my notes. And Georgia Davids. But yeah, and for the B squad, we have. Oh, sorry, one sec. There's a very interesting race going on below us. It's a very close race between first, second, and third. There's about two lengths between each, 2 body lengths between each of them. So there we go. It's 1 and 3 for University of Leicester, and 2 and 4 for the DMU squad. But Georgia David going really strongly there for Fly. She really pushed that hard. She let the gap slip a bit at the start, but she really pushed it out on the last couple of legs. But yeah, coming up next we have the C and D squad for the 100-metre fly. So at the moment it's going to be interesting because we don't actually have any names down for any teams for the 100-metre fly for the C and D squad, and it appears that there is no one. So they have skipped over a race. So this is what I was saying a minute ago, how it's really important that even if you have one racer in it from each team, it increases the gap for these big racers who are putting on points. So it is the A and B race for the men's 100-metre fly. So they're off. So for University of Leicester we have Will Butcher and Alex Harringham versus Dan Todd and Matt Addis. So that was a very interesting there. So Matt Addis had a really long set of dolphin kicks there. He was coming up to borderlining 20 metres on that first length, and it's currently a very tight race between second and third. But at the moment University of Leicester are pushed out quite strongly into the lead. And on the sidelines for DMU, cheering them on, as Matt Addis is our captain, taking the role and taking the steering wheel really, and on the pirate ship he's going to be taking the wheel and steering the ship. At the moment we've got Roy Weller, who's the social set for DMU. He's currently on the sidelines shouting at the thing, making sure the swimmers know where they are every time they pop their head up. But there we go, so it is a first place position for University of Leicester, but it's really close. Who's it going to be? Oh, there's literally one stroke within it. It is University of Leicester 1 and 2 and DMU 3 and 4, so they're just missing out there. It's a real shame because that was once again they're really pushing some good results here, and they're just slipping out just marginally. But it'll be interesting to see if we do have a C and D race for the 100-metre fly. No, and once again, so that race has also been cancelled as we do not have any competitors from either side. There was a couple of names on our spreadsheet for that, however I get the feeling they pulled out to favour and rest up really and get all their strength for their major races where they're going to be important in relays later on or in individual medleys in the stroke that they prefer. So at the moment we are going to be moving on to the 100-metre backstroke. So it's going to be, of course, the A and B ladies first. So we have Grace McKeel and Vishali Deshal for University of Leicester, and Taylor and Frankie Scooter for DMU. So yeah, backstroke obviously quite a different stroke to the rest, all of them on their front except backstroke, clues in the name really, and they start differently. So whereas all the other races will dive off of the podium and try and get in the dive properly and then do a bit of dolphin kick before coming up, with the University, especially here, we noticed a lot of the starts have been key, and here on the backstroke the start was especially key because if you don't get the angle right you're not going to go into the water correctly. You do hit the water with your back. You have to try and go under and do a bit of dolphin kick before you can stroke. But once again University of Leicester taking a firm grip, sadly, but well I say sadly, it's good for them. They're really pushing it through, but it's a very close race for second. So DMU have just got second at the moment, but can University of Leicester push through? They've done it in the last few races. They've picked us at the post. Can they do it again?
Is it going well?
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure DMU have secured a second place in this race. That's more points that are going on the table for us, which is brilliant. We may not be getting the top spot. We're definitely picking these points up slowly throughout the day. But as I said, coming up next is the C and D race for the backstroke for the 100-metre backstroke. So for University of Leicester, we have Hannah Lane in the D squad, and we have Charlotte Getter, who will be representing University of Leicester C squad, versus from DMU in our C squad we will be having Izzy versus is Izzy and Tabby? No, it's not Izzy and Tabby again. There we go. It's Ellie and Maya, or is it Maya? I believe it's Maya. Apologies to Maya for saying your name wrong. But yeah, so they've just got into the pool, and as I said, they've got, as you can see here, they start differently. So they pull themselves onto the podium and then go as quickly as possible. So they're coming up to the 25-metre mark, and it is University of Leicester 1, University of Leicester 2, DMU 3 and 4. But there was a slight mistake there from the University of Leicester swimmer. She stopped her stroke. So as you can expect in swimming, you do have to turn everything. So you will go for a tumble turn at the end of each length. However, you've got to time it correctly to make sure that you don't either hit the side or you don't stop too early. And she turned from the backstroke to get a turn in the backstroke. You do have to turn onto your front and do a forward turn as usual, but you have to time that correctly, and she timed that exceptionally early and had to put an extra stroke in on the front. But there we go. So we're coming up to the last length, and it appears to be the DMU 3rd and 4th compared to University of Leicester 1st and 2nd. But as we said, it's not much to worry. It is a C and D race. The C and D races do not get points. They are there just for the competitive nature and good sporting nature of Varsity. We want to get everyone involved. So as you can expect, we're just getting everyone in the pool, trying to get as many races out of everyone. It's a bit of a laugh at the same time as being competitive. But next, so we've got Dec Evans, and Roy Weller, who are doing the 100-metre backstroke for the A and B for the men's. And for University of Leicester, I believe this is quite a strong leg for them, I've been told. But yeah, so for the 100-metre back, they've got Owen Drabwell and they've got Ben McCullen. Yeah, so Roy, at the start of the year, represented us in Bucks. And he does his signature twirl into the pool. He loves his little jump into the pool every time. Dec is the first one out of the water, and he is pushing through. But once again, as I said, it was a strong field this year. It is a very, very strong field. So Owen Drabwell has taken the lead, with Roy Weller from DMU just slipping into 3rd currently, behind Ben McCullen of University of Leicester. Dec Evans is gliding through the water beautifully. He's been training, as we said earlier, he's been training really hard. He's an absolutely amazing athlete. He's come really far this year. He's joined our Couch to 5 as well, which runs on Thursdays, and he's really pushing himself. He's always part of Swim and Try. He loves going out with us. He loves training, and even when he should be training, he's even taking coaching positions just to make sure the team is running. So he's got a real dedication this year, and we're hoping that we put him forward for an award. Hopefully it will pay off for him. But there we go. The University of Leicester take the win for that, and I believe they're going to take a 1-2 victory. And then Roy Weller coming in shortly after 3rd, and Dec Evans definitely caught up Roy there to take a 4th place. Yeah, so we have Daniel Gulver and we have Johnny Powell for DMU in this race. and we have Simon Brojkov in for University of Leicester. Yeah, so this competition is being held in 2 parts. So we're coming up to probably about 3/4 away. So we've got the 100-metre breaststroke, and then we've got the 4x50 freestyle relay for the mixed relay that is coming up. And then we're going to have a little break in between where the swimmers are going to get a little bit of sugar down them, and we're going to be getting on to getting a bit of liquid down them and getting a bit of nutrition in them to get them fueled ready for the second half. Hopefully we'll be able to have a word with a couple of the members of the swimming team who aren't competing at the moment to see how they're feeling about it. We may even drag a couple of the DMU Sports members who are stood behind me into the commentary box to have a word how they're feeling about Varsity's going at half time if they haven't run off by then. But it is a really close race between 1 and 2. So they're really, really pushing it between Simon and Johnny. It is really, really pushing it. Then it's slightly opened up for Simon at the moment. But there, so is it? And that is what I mean by having to time your turns and your finishes to perfection. Otherwise, you do headbutt the boards, and trust me, it is not the best feeling in the world. It really does hurt, especially if we're hitting it at speed. These ones aren't too bad up here. They're plastic. However, for timing reasons, however. For the other end, for the 25-metre mark, it is ceramic, so that is going to hurt exceptionally. So we're moving on to the A and B race, the 100-metre breaststroke for the ladies. So we've got Lucy Harrison and Lauren Stewart for University of Leicester, and Emily Wheatley and Catherine Flint for DMU. Oh, and Catherine has come up first, and she's opened up a good half a body's length gap between them. And after the 25-metre stage, are they going to be able to hold it on though? That is the question. So that is a beautiful turn there for Catherine. The DMU crowd seem to be going wild, especially within the team. So Ellie Patton, our chair lady, is up there, splashing the water, telling them to get a move on. But Catherine has opened up a definite lead here. This could be looking to be like our first set of 4 points on the table for DMU today. And hopefully it seems it is quite a close second between the other 3 teams. They are really, really close. There is less than half a body's length between them. But they're starting to pull away. So University of Leicester A squad, so that is Grace McKill is starting to pull away from her teammate. So it's not Grace McKill, apologies. So on my behalf, that is Lucy Harrison is starting to pull away from Lauren Stewart. But Catherine Flint, I'm pretty sure, has got this in the bag. She's opened up a nice 10-12 metre gap between them. So, but once again, as we've been saying today, we've had a lot of close races. And Catherine punches the air. She's absolutely annihilated the field in this race. 4 points for DMU. So as I said earlier, the point system works in the A and B races only, where they get points. It is 4 points for first, and then 3 points for second, 2 points for third, and as you can expect, 1 point for fourth. And the C and D squads are not pointed at all. They are just for friendly, competitive nature of Varsity. There we're moving on to the C and D squad for the 100-metre breaststroke. So as I said earlier, we still haven't got any names for this race. But the University of Leicester have only got 1 competitor in it, so they've only got a C squad racer in it, whereas DMU have made the effort and really pushed through to put a C and D squad in it. So that is it's Eleanor Morton, who is in the C squad for University of Leicester, and she is going to be racing up against the likes of Tabby and Ellie Patton for DMU. So at the halfway stage is University of Leicester, who slipped into second after their lead at the start, and DMU have managed to bring it forward. There's Tabby. Tabby is driving the field forward, and she's opened up quite a clear gap between them. There's a good couple of body lengths between them. I'm pretty sure she's got this sealed in the bag, unless something goes terribly wrong. A striker cramp, which is usually what the most common cause of not finishing a race in swimming. If you don't get your salt levels right in your body, if you're not drinking enough, if you're not eating enough of the right stuff, you can get cramped really, really quickly, which is a nightmare in the pool, especially if you're in one of the middle lanes. I've had it before where I've had to basically drag myself out the pool because I can't move my legs, and it hurts. It hurts, but there we go. Tabby has taken it in the bag, and it is a 1-2 finish for DMU. So we're coming through strong at the moment. They're definitely picking up the pace. We didn't have the strongest of starts, but they're definitely bringing it home for now. So it is the A and B squad race for the men's 100-metre breaststroke. So for University of Leicester, we have Henry Butler and Harry Faulkner, who's their swim captain. And for DMU, we have Liam O'Keefe and Vincent Putnam. So that was a slow start there for Liam, for Vincent. Sorry, not Liam. He didn't really get off the stand quite as quickly as he wanted to. He didn't have the reaction times that the others had. But can he drag it back? But coming up in a minute after the C and D squad for the 100-metre breaststroke, we're going to be having the 4x50-metre freestyle relays, the mixed relays that is. So it is 2 men and 2 women from each squad. But the DMU sports team seem to be totally oblivious still to the fact that we are going to be dragging them into the studio in a minute to get their opinion on how Varsity's going, especially the swimming, because they've been here the whole time. They're here in their shorts and their t-shirts. I'm surprised they've not got their Hawaiian shirts on, to be honest, because they're getting into the spirit of it, and they really seem to be loving it. But it is a strong 1-2 for University of Leicester, with a growing gap opening up. But there we go, 1-2 for University of Leicester. So that is Henry Butler and Harry Faulkner finishing 1 and 2. And then we've actually had a surprise. So Vincent's come all the way back to finish third after his bad start. Really, he was really dragged and pushed to get that position in. And then we have got, of course, Liam O'Keefe finishing in 4th place for DMU. But coming up next, as we said, we have got the relays coming up shortly. But for now, it is the C and D squad for the breaststroke. So the University of Leicester have currently got Jacob Santos in their C squad for the 100-metre breaststroke. And he will be racing Chris Tang from DMU. And Chris seems to have been he's been training well. He's been training with the C squad this year. But we've got 2 C squads at the moment. We've got a C squad pushing for A and B, and he has been up with them every Monday. I've seen him training. He's on it. He's make sure he's here. He trains well, and you see him quite a lot of the time in the gym, making sure he's cross-training. And he has opened up, so at the moment they're still slightly overlapping, but Chris is definitely out with the 50-metre halfway stage. He's definitely opening up the gap. They're turning into their penultimate leg, and there was a little slip there from the University of Leicester racer. But there is now a noticeable gap opening up between DMU and University of Leicester. Chris has been putting the training this year, and it's clearly paying off. go. So it's definitely a strong. That was a strong victory there for Chris. But coming up next, we have the 4x50 metre freestyle mixed relay. So for University of Leicester, their A team for the they have got Emma Lees, Katrina Scatoni, Jake Spicer and Owen Drabble, which, as we've seen so far, this has been a strong set of swimmers. They look confident. It's whether or not they can actually put what they've got on their face into the pool and get the result at the end. And then for DMU, for the A team, it is Catherine Flint, Georgia Matoni, Matt Addis and Steve Sullivan. Once again, this is a strong team. These are some of our top swimmers who are going to be in here. And they are going to be racing on the B length for Georgina Dolan, Holly Brooke, Nick Payne and Alex Harringham for University of Leicester. And for DMU, we've got Jess Payne, Georgia Matoni. We've got two Georgia, I believe that one of them may be Georgia Davids, and Dan Todd and Josh Grove. So this is the last race of the first half before we have a little break. Can DMU get some really vital points to drag them up a little bit before the halfway? So that's the first turn. So as I said, it's a freestyle relay, so it's all front crawl. Not meant, but it's very highly unlikely that racers will do any other stroke, but rather interesting because, as I said, it was an A and B race, but we appear to have 6 teams, so I'm currently trying to figure out who the other teams are. So we have 3 University of Leicester teams and 3 DMU teams. So I've not got this on my notes whatsoever, so I apologise that I cannot give you any names of who in the other team. However, I've not been given anything about this. This is a surprise to me as much as it is to everyone else. And there we go, that is one of our members of the DMU sports team. They're getting right into it. We are going to be dragging them into the studio to have a word in a bit. They don't look too comfortable about it, but they're getting right into it. So it's currently University of Leicester in first place, but a very close race second between University of Leicester and DMU. Oh, that was great. The University of Leicester need to pick their own team, but it is University of Leicester 1, 2, 4, and DMU 2nd, 5th and 6th. No, that's DMU down here. Right down here is DMU. In a minute, yeah.
Why are you doing it? God! I'm sweating and going crazy.
Horrific in here. My ears feel like they're swimming.
I can't even put earphones on. And it's just like 5.
And so there we go. So we've come to the halfway stage. A couple of the swimmers have got in the pool, have a bit of a swim to get their muscles moving. So don't want to seize up. But it's going to be about a 10-minute wait, I believe, for our next half. But here we go. I'm going to drag in Georgia Farrant. So Georgia Farrant is one of our social secs for DMU Swim and Try. Georgia, how do you think it's going for DMU? Do they look like they're having a positive day?
Maybe.
You sound so positive about it.
We're having a good day and we're having fun. That's what's important. We're having fun, so it's
exactly.
Fun.
How do you feel the second half's going to be going?
Hopefully better. You never know. We might pull something out of the bag.
Do you think have we got any like surprise swimmers this year that you think could surprise us on this one event? And we've also got Ollie Snell in the studio at the moment. He's pointing to himself. However, he's somehow managed to sneak his way out the team. We don't know how he's done it, but he's got out of swimming somehow.
Yeah, social member.
social member. Look at that.
I won't touch the swimming pool.
Poor commitment to the cause. And we've got Zoe Simmons who's come up. And the panic on Zoe Simmons' face. So, Zoe, tell us something about Swim and Try. Why join Swim and Try?
Because we're amazing.
We're amazing.
The best society ever.
Tell us some things we've done this year. Haven't we done a charity event this year?
We have. We did a 24-hour triathlon to raise money for Loros, and we raised like over £1,400. So
wow,
yeah.
There you go. So next year, if you're here next year, or you're a prospective student coming in, why not come and join university? We're a really friendly bunch. Trust us. We're really nice. Get involved. You can get, and we've also got Ellie here. Ellie's been swimming really well this morning.
Ellie's fab.
Ellie is fab. She's got such a lot. She's got such an enthusiasm within the team. She's been cheering everyone on from the sides. But good luck to the rest of you for the second half.
Thank you.
But yeah, so if you're looking for a team to join next year, Swim and Try. Just jump in. It literally is one of these sports where diving's allowed. You can dive right into the deep end, or you can just swim in the shallows, no matter how you're feeling. But just even if you want to be like Ollie, Ollie's a social member. He comes up with us. He joins us on all the charity events. If you want to join us like that, it's even better because if you don't really want to train as much, there's no pressure to train. If you want to compete, go for it. If you want to just sit back and have a little splash about, be our guest. But hopefully we'll see a few of you next year at the UCAS fair at the start of the year. Ellie's raving for it. She can't wait. She absolutely can't wait for next year. And as well, we also get tour each year. So this year we're going to be flying out to Mallorca. So, and you get to spend a whole week with the team and training and enjoying yourself. But for now, it is half time. A few of the swimmers are going, and we will be joining you back with coverage in a short while. But for now, we will join you shortly. Right, I'm going to sneak out for a bit because I'm sweating.
Wait.
I'm not going to get that. I can't get it. I'll turn my mic off.
I'll get this one on so that. Sorry. You guys done it? No. Let's learn about it. Oh, you bastards. There's too much. We have done. Yeah. I've got 50 back strips and then 2 relays. You don't have to stay for the relays, because they'll probably be really long. Relays are fun. They're fun. All the freshers have like a stupid one. You would swim it, like doggy paddle and stuff like that. What? Apparently we never do. We just sit on and then do it.
Still waiting for me to celebration.
Wait until the end. Jump in. Did you make it down in for next week?
Either that or thinking of a really cool the divers in the water.
I don't think I've been very used. You still win it, so that's good. If it goes by anything like that. Did I?
Someone is swimming.
Yeah, you hit shoot.
When they touch the end there, you finish.
Oh.
is it all right now?
Perfect. Like, you've literally split the hour on that.
Oh no, I told him, we did it the first time, wasn't really bad, he did it the second time.
I'll tell you what, champion. Absolute champion. Absolute champion.
Yeah, how does the basketball go?
So we've 2 comments down with no one signed up, and then I called in on Ryan and Doug, who called it.
Rob.
Right link. Yeah. Why don't you just turn the light off? Can you get him to get a score?
Right, go on, get in a position.
You can have my sweaty ones. And we are back for the second half. And DMU have got their signature duck song going. It's all about a duck that sings vodka on the bottom of a pool.
Hello and welcome back to the Varsity Swimming. You're joined by myself, Tom, and my good friend Connor.
Richardson.
I know your last name. I was letting you introduce yourself.
Just making sure, you know.
Absolutely. Now, Connor, it's so good that you're here. Do you know why?
I don't know, just my beautiful face?
No, because you are, of course, a swimmer. In fact,
of course I am.
You're technically a triathlete, aren't you?
Yes, I am a triathlete instead of a swimmer.
So you can be our pro point of view. Now, what do we have coming up next?
So coming up next, we have a good few races. So as beforehand, we've had all the 100-metre races. So coming up next, we've got the 200-metre freestyle race, followed by the 50-metre fly, then the backstroke, breaststroke, free, and then the 4x50 50-metre free freestyle relay, and the 8x25 fresher relay. That is news to me. I've not been told about that. That is a new race at the end that has been sent through by the treasurer, Becky Jarvis. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. But yeah, we've got a lot of members down there of the crew who are sorting this day out. With a massive thank you to all the umpires and the people organising the races, because it wouldn't happen without them. The lifeguards, of course, you need them in a swimming pool. Even though we may be able to swim, it does happen on the odd occasion where we lose the ability to swim. And a massive thank you to all our photographers and film crew and sound crew, of course, for being able to put this on today. And a shout out to Adam Ward from DMU Swim and Tri. He is the Tri captain. He's sadly off injured at the moment, hence why he could not take part in the Varsity. But he's taken some cracking photos right on the pool side.
Absolutely. Now, for those who don't know, we're having the 200-metre freestyle. What exactly is freestyle?
Freestyle, so it's whatever stroke they choose. So usually it's front crawl, because front crawl is the quickest stroke to do, and it's the most energy efficient. Butterfly is quicker, however, over a longer distance, it is definitely front stroke that takes the lead with it.
Brilliant. Now, of course, our competitors today in Lane A, Ketrin Scatini, Lane B, Georgina Dolan, Lane.
That's it. And then for DMU, we've had some late entries from DMU here, so we have got Catherine Flint once again, and that is Georgia Mitoni.
Absolutely. Now on the start, UOL take a quick lead after the first tumble. Now, Connor, how long is this pool? It's a 25-metre pool, isn't it?
It's a 25-metre pool, so it's 8 lengths of the pool. It's quite a hefty race, hence why a lot of people aren't the most comfortable racing this distance. It's really, really hard. You've got to have this ability to be quick, yet at the same time pace yourself perfectly, because you don't want to be blowing up too quickly.
Absolutely, and it's an early lead for the two UOL swimmers in the middle. They're currently racing it out with each other, but then we have the next two DMU swimmers. They are doing very well at the moment.
And there's been a third entry into this 200 metre, for which I'm not too. I don't know about you, Tom, but I'm not too sure who that is from UOL. We've not got anything on our notes whatsoever. We've only been given 2 swimmers' names, so it's rather interesting.
Absolutely, but they are giving it their best shot, which is what we always love to see. And
DMU getting right behind their swimmers, of course. They've got their duck song back out again, and look at them, they're all crowding around, they're making sure everything is going on correctly.
That's the support we love to see, but of course UOL after the first 100 metres have a strong lead as they come towards 125. It's not a tight race for the varsity points, but it's a tight race for first. We'll see whether it's the swimmer of Georgina Dolan in the middle, if she wins, or if it's Catherine Sciatoni, but we're not sure, are we, Connor?
We're not.
But absolutely fantastic.
I believe it's Sciatoni who is the leader. She is, from what I've heard from when I showed them the team list earlier, there was a slight chill that went through the captains' faces at DMU, because they've told me that she is an exceptional swimmer, she swims at a very, very high level.
Absolutely, and look at that form, great form. She's really working on her breathing and her arm technique. You can see the muscle, the power in her back. She's fantastic. She's now got a clear lead of, I'd say, about 10 metres, wouldn't you?
I'd maybe even less. I'd say less than that, to be honest.
But it is an absolutely fantastic effort from all involved. The two DMU swimmers of Will, but no, that's completely wrong. Ignore me. The two DMU swimmers are, of course, level pegging at the moment.
They are Georgia Martina and Catherine Flint from DMU. They are.
Absolutely brilliant effort from here, and the two UOL finishers have finished, and we do believe it's Katrina Scatoni who took the victory there.
But that was a beautiful, beautiful race there, and you can see the stroke from the UOL swimmers was exceptional. That's the thing with a race like this for 200 metres.
Absolutely.
You can't absolutely flap your arms about and try and get as many strokes in as possible. You've got to, as you've noticed from watching, they lengthen their strokes. They tried to glide out, and they just kept going from there, and they just kept pushing.
Absolutely brilliant effort by all involved there. Incredible.
But yeah, as we said, we've got the 200 metres coming up for the men soon. So from UOL, we are going to be having Will Butcher and Ben McCullen, but we're not sure. Once again, are we going to have some late entries in for DMU? I believe it is. So it's Matt Addis once again, our swim captain, and I believe it's Josh Grove. So as I said earlier, Josh Grove finished third at the paraplegic Bucks. Very, very hard, very successful swimmer. Swam for Switzerland in the European Games. He's at the top of form at the moment, I would say. He's swimming well. Be interesting to see if he can topple them.
Absolutely, and as they line up, the crowd dims, they take their places, and they're off. And all level pegging at the start, however, we see who's the DMU swimmer who's in the middle.
That is Matt Addis. That is our swim captain.
Matt Addis takes a long time to come up from under the water, and however after the
earlier on here, he managed to get over half a length on his dolphin kicks.
Incredible. Now it's an early lead for one of the UOL competitors. I think that's Ben McCullen. Early lead there, but he is really pushing hard, and DMU aren't that far behind. It's looking like it's going to be close, but we'll see. Of course, this one is much more about endurance.
Exactly. Coming from an endurance athlete like myself, if you go out too quickly, you're going to crash and burn, and everything can go wrong. Even within the last 10 metres, stuff can go wrong. Absolutely,
and the technique on show is incredible here. The tumble kick's perfect. You know, we've seen some fantastic use of the water. It's all fantastic here, isn't it, Connor?
It is.
Absolutely. Now it looks like Will Butcher is taking an early lead. We think might be Ben McCullen. We don't know.
I believe that is Will. Will is in his black shorts as usual. Whereas we've got Ben in his bright blue shorts on the far side. But Matt, it is a very close race between Ben and Matt Addis at the moment.
Absolutely brilliant to see. The athleticism here is incredible. And do you know what I love the most?
I like the passion.
Yes, the passion, the support of everybody here. Of course, if you want to come along and support either DMU or UOL, then just come down to the Queen Elizabeth II Leisure Centre, just out of DMU campus. It's so easy to get to. However, it looks like Will, has really got a good lead at this point.
Will Butcher's taking the lead quite comfortably now, and Ben's pulled away from Matt, which I believe this is the last length for Will.
Absolutely. Final little push there. The crowd, of course, going wild. Everybody at DMU getting behind their guys, which is what we love to see, and UOL also loud. But I think, you know, DMU supporters, we're unlike anything else out there.
We are unlike anything else. We're a very rowdy bunch when it comes to sporting competitions. You can hear us outside the stadium. You can hear us probably the next town going.
Absolutely. And it's a 1-2 for UOL there. Strong performance by all, though. Strong performance by all.
It is. It's a very hard race. This is one of these races they didn't really want to do, but they're having to do. Otherwise, it is giving away points.
Absolutely. But we'd much rather people were taking part than giving away points without.
Exactly. It's all about the community spirit and getting the sporting nature of Varsity going on.
Absolutely. And you know what they say? It's not the winning that counts; it's the taking part.
Exactly.
And what next have we got coming up?
What then? I believe.
Is it the 4x50 medley?
I don't think that's right at the end, Tom. Tom's jumping the gun here. I believe it's the 50-metre fly.
Ah, I'm sorry, my spreadsheet in front of me, not very well ordered.
Sorry about that.
Was that your fault?
That was my fault. That is my spreadsheet, Tom.
Subpar spreadsheet.
5, yeah, we've had it confirmed by Jack on the side. It is a 50-metre fly. Thank you, Jack.
Absolutely brilliant job there from Jack, and a brilliant job, of course, from everyone here. The support is absolutely incredible. We just couldn't do it without them, really.
No, we definitely. Sport is all about the competitors. However, it wouldn't be anything if you didn't have people watching.
Absolutely. Now, as they get ready, do you know any of the competitors here? 50-metre fly. We've got Megan Armitage, Holly Brook, Catherine Flint. Silence as they take the marks, and they're off.
And we have Georgia Davis just to finish off the lineup.
Absolutely. Brilliant.
It is a very, very close race, actually, this first leg. Usually a gap really opened up, but nothing at all.
I know, and of course for some the butterfly is quite a complicated stroke, isn't it?
It's one of these ones, you either get it or you don't. It's like Marmite within the swimming world.
Absolutely, and as they come towards the finish, it's getting very tight, I must say. All 4 competitors are close. We'll have to see what happens. It's going to be on the touch, isn't it? And it's going to be a UOL.
I think that's a UOL victory, but it is very, very close between second and third.
We'll see what happens there. Do we get official confirmation of who won?
I'm afraid we don't. We're going off what I'm hoping I'm going to be informed slowly in a minute by the teams. But I'm pretty sure that was going to be a UAL 1-2 and probably a DMU 3-4.
Either way, absolutely incredible performance. The athleticism, incredible. It's not easy conditions at the moment, is it?
It's not. Especially, I think, to be honest, it's definitely worse conditions up for us up here. It is boiling. All the spectators, some people came in with coats and tracksuits on. They've gone and changed into their t-shirts and shorts, which I don't blame them.
I know I came in a coat and jumper. Now, of course, we're now seeing another fantastic race here.
This is the C and D race, the 50-metre fly for the ladies.
Some brilliant athletes here. DMU taking an early lead here, but we'll see what happens. Interestingly, they're not going for the tumble kick.
No, with the fly, you don't really want to be tumbling.
Okay.
You want to be pushing off. It's like breaststroke. You want to touch the wall, push off.
Interesting. What's the thoughts behind that?
I'm not too sure myself. I'm always one. I always use a tumble term. However, I don't do fly. I'm a front. If I swim being a triathlete, you have to use front crawl.
Absolutely.
In triathlon, so I'm constricted to that one stroke. So I'm so used to that. Whereas with breaststroke, it's quite clear because you're not tumbling. You have to put both hands on the wall, then touch with both feet and push off.
Brilliant. Now that was, of course, the first place there for UOL. Second place, however, DMU will absolutely take that. Now, for those who haven't seen, watched, or heard the varsity swimming before, how does the point system actually work, Connor?
So the point system works. So for first place it is 4 points. Second place is 3 points. Third place is 2 points, and guess how many it is for fourth place, Tom?
1 point.
Correct.
Absolutely.
But it is only the A and B squads that actually get marked on their points. C and D is friendly, competitive nature. So here we have now started a new race. So it is the 50-metre fly
for the men.
So we have Jake Spicer and Alex Harringham for the University of Leicester, and we have Dan Todd and Vincent Putnam for DMU.
Brilliant. And we think Alex Harrigan there in the middle has taken a quick lead with Jake Spicer behind him. So currently looking like a 1-2 for UOL, but we'll see on the touch. Yes, 1-2 for UOL with, I think it was Vincent Putman, was that who came first?
That was Daniel Todd.
Todd.
Dan putting a valiant effort in to try and close that gap as much as possible.
Absolutely brilliant effort by all. I couldn't do this myself. If you want to come along and see this fantastic athleticism, then the Queen Elizabeth II Leisure Centre is the place to come.
Exactly. Get heading down there. As much as it's brilliant watching on a live stream, you can't beat the nature of watching sports live, no matter what sport it is.
Absolutely. Now, of course, we are streaming across the internet, aren't we?
We are streaming everywhere.
Brilliant. And how can people watch?
They can watch it on Demon TV Facebook page, or I believe we've also got a YouTube link set up on the Demon TV set our profile.
That we do. And if people have got any questions, how can they get in touch with us?
Just tweet us at Demon Media or Demon Sport,
as the C and D get underway for the 50-metre fly. This one's a lot closer.
This is. So I believe this is just both the C squads. There is no D races in this. It is Johnny Powell for DMU. I'm not quite sure who the C racer is for University of Leicester.
Now, as you can probably hear over the microphones, the support is incredible. The noise in here, unbelievable. So do come down, get involved, support our athletes. You know, we could absolutely be seeing here the future of British swimming.
We could be. We definitely could be. But for now, we're coming up to our next set of races soon. So in a minute, we are going to be. It's going to be another once again 50 metres. So we did all the 100-metre races in the first half. We're only going to be doing the 50-metre relay, and then we're going to be doing the relay. So we've now got the 50-metre backstroke. So coming up for the A and B ladies, we've got Grace McGill and Visha Desai for University of Leicester, and Eddie Blowen and Taylor for DMU. We've had a slight delay. Ellie wasn't quite prepared as she usually is. She had a little late thing and didn't realise she had forgotten her goggles, which as a swimmer is quite a major piece of your equipment. You need your legs, you need your arms, and you need your goggles.
Absolutely, and as they get underway, it's an early lead from UOL, but it's looking quite close for that second and third position, isn't it?
It is. That is a very close race there. It's going to be interesting to see if we're able to drag this through and pick up an extra point. Because at the moment, as you may get, we don't know the confirmed score of what it is so far, but I'm pretty sure we can safely say it's University of Leicester 1 and DMU in second place.
Absolutely, but you know what? One thing that I've seen throughout this varsity period, and I've seen it in all sorts of sports, from rugby to badminton, is that actually, although the points may be going UOL's way at the moment, the team spirit shown from DMU has just been absolutely incredible.
Oh yeah, it has. It's been amazing, and we've had a lot of shocks this year within Varsity, haven't we? So it's going to be interesting to see if DMU they may even well bring it back in this last few races, and they may bring back the points, may absolutely storm out. Like we've had a lot of shocks this year in Varsity. We've had quite a few teams, like Dodgeball team won it this year, didn't they? They won it for the first time ever. So. And they have played University of Leicester 4 times this year before and not won a game. And then on Varsity, when it mattered, they absolutely smashed it out of the water. So could swimming do exactly the same? We shall see.
Well, fingers crossed.
Exactly. Touch wood, fingers crossed.
All of that?
All of that. Absolutely.
But of course, it's not just the swimming that's going on today in the leisure centre, is it?
No, it's not.
We've got the netball seconds and thirds who are currently taking place just behind us at the netball section. Yeah. Yes, in the sports hall.
The netball section.
That's the
Sounds
word.
like a library, the netball section.
And if you want
on the second floor, on the netball section.
If you want your regular netball literature, just come along to Queen Elizabeth II Leisure Centre. No, of course, it is an absolutely fantastic day for sport. Yesterday, Super Saturday, of course, we had the basketball. Heartbreak for the women's, but the men putting it back. But of course, we're ready now for the next round.
So it is the C and D squad for the ladies.
Absolutely. And as the Leisure Centre dims its voices, they're off, and off they go. It's an early lead looking like for UOL, but I tell you what, the DMU swimmer in second, God, she's under the water for long, and she's pulling it back. We'll see what happens here, but it could be close for those second
It definitely could be. I believe that's Daisy.
Oh, fantastic
who's for
to
DMU.
hear.
There we go.
We'll go on Daisy.
Come on, Daisy, you can do it.
Absolutely. The athleticism on show here is just incredible. I haven't seen anything like it, you know. And as I was saying earlier, we could really be seeing the future of
we definitely could be.
British swimming
here.
There's
some big names in this hall. You've got Josh Grove from DMU, who, as I said earlier, has competed in the European level.
Absolutely. And as the men get themselves ready, there's lots of body slapping going on, isn't there?
Got to get the muscles warmed up, get them fired up ready. You don't want to be going in with cold muscles. That's when strains start happening in pools. You don't really want that happening at all. So yeah, we're going to have the A and B squads up next for the men. So it is Owen Drabwell and Nick Payne for University of Leicester versus Roy Weller and Vincent Putnam.
Absolutely. Don't you mean Tom Woodley, not
Tom
Vincent
Woodley,
Pittman.
apologies, I've read the wrong way on the script again.
That's why we don't trust you on your own, Connor.
Oh, thank you very much. Absolutely, in the words of Tom.
Now, of course, 50-metre backstroke sounds easy, doesn't it? Doing 50 metres of backstroke, but the speed these athletes are going at.
Yeah.
This isn't just something anybody could do. This is proper tough sport.
You do have to train. You do have to get it right. 'Cause everyone can jump in a pool and have a splash about, but trying to get the breathing right, trying to get the stroke right, and trying to get the timings right on everything is really, really important.
Absolutely, I know I couldn't do it myself. So as they head off again, it is an early indicator here that UOL might have the points here, but of course valiant effort from the DMU lads.
It is.
It's going to be interesting to see who comes first and second. Again, you can hear the noise of the crowd. Everyone is going wild. The support here is absolutely incredible. Although we will forget about that Leicester support. Of course, DMU...
We're currently surrounded by the enemy, I'm afraid. They are cheering. They're smirking to the side of us. We may have to cut out the sounds in a minute just to get rid of them. They've come strong. It may not be them hosting it this year, but they've come strong with their supporters, their swim team. There is absolutely loads of them.
Absolutely, but it's good. We like having the support, though.
We do.
We like the atmosphere. The atmosphere is strong, and I don't know. I'm really loving life at the moment. What's up next? We of course have the 50-metre breaststroke.
I believe it is the breaststroke. Let's have a look. Just double check. Yep, it is the 50-metre breaststroke.
I love a good breaststroke, do
I?
I?
We do. So we've got Lucy Harrington again and Lauren Stewart from University of Leicester. Who have we got for DMU?
We have Catherine Flint and Emma Wheatley. So best of luck to all the athletes. But first, of course, the C&D of the backstroke as one of the athletes there. Shaky start, but as we mentioned earlier, this is just for the good competitive fun of it rather than for any varsity points. We love to see this here. We love to see a good, strong performance.
Yeah.
It looks like the gentlemen...
University of Leicester they've definitely taken the lead. But there's one thing that's noticed about... So we've got, I believe this is Thomas who's down for DMU here. It is Thomas. You can notice the difference between the way they're swimming is clearly making a difference. Because Thomas is kicking from his knees, whereas the rest he's kicking from his hips, whereas the rest of them are kicking from their knees, which causes it makes it less of a time before you can put your next kick in. So it means you're able to put more kicks in a shorter period, which propels you along quite quickly.
I must say he looks exhausted.
He does. He's really put everything into that race, and well done to
Absolutely.
Thomas.
That's what we love to see. Is we do love to see the athletes giving it them all. Now, Connor, some might call you an athlete. If you were competing today, how would you be preparing? Talk us through the sort of way an athlete might prepare for an event like this.
It's definitely all about nutrition. With stuff like this, it's not just one of these things. You don't just roll up on the morning and then have a bit of a snack. You have to balance your nutrition for especially like the week before, making sure you eat the protein at the right time, carb loading a couple of days beforehand, and taking your gels and your energy supplements just before the race.
Absolutely, and as we see the athletes get up onto the boards, take their marks, and they're off. Of course, as we said, this is the 50-metre breaststroke. We love a good breaststroke here at DMU Media.
We do.
We see an early lead there from DMU. Is that Catherine Flint?
That is Catherine Flint.
Incredible performance there from Catherine Flint. Hopefully she can maintain that. Oh, absolutely brilliant. She's got a good lead here. Looks like it might be a 1-3 for DMU as one of the UOL athletes there, I believe that's Lucy Harrison, is taking a early lead into second, I should say, sorry.
Yeah, so definitely not a lead.
Absolutely
Catherine's
not.
really pulled away.
Absolutely, an incredible performance there from Catherine as the home crowd goes wonderfully wild.
Yeah,
and
so that is
place.
a 1-3 finish.
Oh, fantastic there for DMU. I know there are plenty of people at home who are cheering them on. We certainly are. Next up, of course, we'll have the... do we have any CDs?
I believe we do have some. I'm not too sure on what the teams are going to be, but we'll find out. I'll see what races are in the pool and see if I can identify them for you all.
Absolutely, we definitely do as people are taking their marks. Again, hush goes across the entire swimming pool as they take their marks. And they're off. Brilliant job there. Great entrance by the DMU athlete. She has an early lead, but let's hope she maintains it. It's close for second and third, but of course the DMU athlete, she is taking away with this. It'll all rely on the tumble, won't it, Connor?
It will all come down to this turn.
It's not
a tumble turn, remember, it is breaststroke.
Of course.
So there you go.
And
it's a sideways turn.
Absolutely. The DMU athlete stays under the water longer. She's got a slight lead of maybe a couple of inches. Nothing wrong with a couple of inches, though. It's what matters at the end of the day. Hopefully she can hold this and maintain this all the way to the end. It's going to be tight. Oh, Connor, keep your eyes peeled.
I'm keeping my eyes peeled.
It's going to be on the touch as she goes for it. And
it's definitely a deal. That's a nice. She broke away in the last couple of metres there.
Oh, absolutely brilliant job there. DMU showing that they are strongest on the breaststroke.
Exactly. We're coming back quickly. As I said earlier, it can be full of surprises, and we have proven fully well that we're not going to roll over and take it lightly. We're going to have a good competition here, and we're going to come back and absolutely smash them out the water.
Absolutely. There's nothing we don't like more than just rolling over and taking a defeat. We here at GM Media and of course De Montfort University, we love to push for those points, don't we?
We do. We may be 10-0 down, but we'll still be in high spirits as the DMU swim team have shown. They're there. They're absolutely cheering out. They're going for it.
Absolutely, and of course now we see the men's 50-metre breaststroke. Who's competing for the men's 50-metre breaststroke?
So we have Will Butcher and Harry Faulkner for the men's for University of Leicester, and for the De Montfort University we have Liam O'Keefe and Vincent Putnam. Got it right this time. There we go. But that seems to be an early lead for University of Leicester with a 1-2 it seems.
Absolutely.
But Stephen's pushing it. He's really going for it.
He is, and of course you can hear the crowd going wild. Vincent is he's going for it. He's trying, but DMU seem to have somewhat of an insurmountable climb back to try and get any points here. I'm not sure they will though.
No.
But as we say,
they've got 3 points in total.
But we'll see. It's fine.
We'll see.
Absolutely.
So after this, we are going to, of course, have the C and D races for here, and we're then going to be moving on to the fly for the 50 metres. We'll be starting with the ladies A and B teams.
Absolutely. Now, we were talking a little bit earlier about the preparation one goes through. What kind of, you talked, it's about nutrition and diet.
Yeah.
What kind of things would we be expecting to see these athletes eating? You know, so are they going to have a sort of a tiki pizza on a night out, or is it strict regime of potatoes and salmon?
Oh, it's definitely going to be one. If you want to be competing at the high levels, you want to be really strict with your nutrition. There's drinking bans put in place for all of Varsity. So for DMU, there is a month's ban. There is a month's ban of drinking for the whole of the swim team, no matter whether or not you're competing or not. So, and yeah, you've got to make sure that you are. You've got to make sure that you're really strict to your diet and eating carbs. So you want to be eating rice, pasta, stuff like that. It's also really important to get the sleep and the rest. You don't want to be like overtraining, but at the same time you don't want to stop.
Absolutely, and they take their marks, the men's 50-metre breaststroke. And wait, was that a false start by the looks of things?
I definitely think that could have been, but the referees have said nothing at all.
Well, it's a 1-2 well at the moment, but we'll see what happens at the turn. Who knows? Anything can happen. This is of course
anything
swimming.
Can happen.
However, it looks like UOL have a strong lead of around 3 metres, I'd say. We'll see what happens here as the 2 UOL athletes battle it out. This could be, I believe this is Jake and Alex from UOL battling it out, but I think it will be Alex Harrigan.
It's not. This is a C and D race, isn't it, Tom?
It is.
It is. You're jumping ahead of race. So for DMU there, that is Ben Brown and it is Harry McNamara. So it was very close between both the UOL, and then it was a close race between that of DMU.
Yes, well, we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, we will be.
What have we got up next, Connor?
We've got the 50-metre freestyle coming up next. So this is going to be the last 50-metre individual medley coming up. So we have got, for the ladies, we have got Megan Armitage and Holly Brooke for University of Leicester versus Catherine Flint and Georgia Davids of De Montfort University.
And they're off. Bit splashy on the entrance there, but I'm sure nobody really minds.
No, there's a reason all our cameras are hidden well up here, because we know what a splash the swim and trial team can make.
Absolutely. But after the first turn, UOL have an insurmountable lead.
Absolutely, they have.
Sometimes it do just be like that.
But yeah, as we said, so we've talked about nutrition, we've talked about sleep. The other important thing within swimming, of course, is being streamlined. So you don't, as you can see, all our racers, they are wearing Speedo style costumes. They're not going to be wearing their shorts that they wear to the beach, their flowery shorts. They're not going to be wearing a Hawaiian shirt on the side. They are going to be streamlined. They've got swim caps, they've got their goggles. Some of them, like Callum McKillock from DMU, from De Montfort University, he even had his hair cut. So it was totally streamlined. And I've got to admit, it's not the most fashionable look of hair, but at the same time, he's gone for the streamlined look. He's looking well.
Absolutely, it's about the marginal gains at the end of the day. The marginal gains.
Absolutely.
And they're off, of course. Again, another strong start there for UOL, but we'll see what happens. Again, at the turn, it's looking very close in that 1-2-3. We'll have to see what happens, but of course this is a C and D, so it doesn't really matter in terms of the varsity points.
So as we said earlier, it's all about the friendly, competitive nature of varsity. It's not always about points. It's about just having a go, getting in the pool, and diving right into the deep end.
Absolutely. The speed of the athletes here on show is fantastic.
It is brilliant. They've been training hard all year. Some of them, especially the A and B squads, they've been putting in 4, maybe even 5 training sessions a week.
That's incredible. The dedication on show here, the athleticism here, it's all so good to see. You know,
it's absolutely fantastic.
University sports really are a great stepping stone, as we talked about, onto that higher level. And you've already mentioned some of the athletes here who are competing at higher levels yet, and it's really great to see that. As of course we now move towards the men's 50-metre.
We do.
As again.
So in this race we have Jake Spicer and Nick Payne for University of Leicester, but they are against Harrison Waldis and Steve Sullivan for DMU.
Yes, they are. Again, we hear that strong support there in the crowd.
Look at this. It's going to be one of the closest races we've seen all day.
Absolutely.
It's going to be down to the touch. Everything matters here. University of Leicester. I want to say that was a DMU. Just managed to get into second there, but that was going to be really close. And it's going to be down to what the judges saw. It is their decision after all. We are merely spectators here.
Well, no, today, Connor, we're commentators. Oh, you can see the exhaustion on the faces of the athletes. They really did give it their all there.
They really did. They absolutely blasted out. Steve Sullivan really went for it then.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I'm just in awe at the athleticism on show here, you know. It's
brilliant. You can always tell when Tom. I've commentated and been on radio with Tom quite a bit this year, and you can always tell when Tom's in awe, because he just says absolutely all the time. And so this is the C and D squad. So it's Daniel Gulver, and I believe it is that Callum McKillock for DMU? I believe it is Callum McKillock.
The one right at the back.
No, that's Daniel Gulver, who's down here closest to us. However, Callum McKillock, who's in the middle. Interesting turn there. He timed that slightly late.
I don't like to backseat swim, but I must say the technique on show there isn't exactly.
It's not the best, but at the same time, it's one of these ones. If you miss a stroke and you muck it up, then the technique for it can totally cause a panic.
Absolutely, but he's pushing through to the end, isn't he?
He is. That's all that matters. It's all about finishing.
Sometimes people can struggle to finish, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's about making it through right to the end.
It was back in the 80s when there was the swimming in the Olympics, and there was an African country that won a gold medal.
Was it Jamaica?
But it wasn't an African country, mate. African country, not a Caribbean country. But they won a gold medal just because of the fact they carried on swimming, and both the competitors who were with them got disqualified. And it's all time. It's been one of the slowest races of all time for a gold medal, but he won it all because of the fact he kept going and he did not worry about the fact of his competitors. He just kept going, head down, kept swimming.
Good lad for finishing.
Exactly.
Now, Connor, explain to us what's happening about now.
So from the way that there's loads of people down there, this is definitely going to be the relays going on. So this is going to be I believe this is the freestyle relay that is going on. So yeah, this is the 4x50 metre freestyle relay that is going on.
And who have we got competing in the 4x50?
So as usual, it is going to be the ladies first with the A and B races. So we have got for University of Leicester's A team, we have Grace McGill, Megan Armitage, Katrine Scatoni, Emma Lees, and then for their B team, for Charlie DeShale, Beth Collins, Holly Brooke, and Georgina Dollar. Whereas for DMU in their A team, we've got Georgia Machoni, Jess Payne, Georgia Davids, and Catherine Flint. But for their B team, we've got Frankie Scudder, Lauren Tier, Tabby Neal, and Emily Wheatley. So, but as you can see, the DMU's A team is currently sat in second, only just ahead on their first turnover. What's it going to be like? And that is virtually a synchronised dive there from the University of Leicester B team and the DMU A team. But the University of Leicester B team has slightly taken a lead over the De Montfort University's A team. Only just though, only just. Anything can happen. It's only the second leg at the moment.
Absolutely. I was going to say we're not even halfway through yet. Again, though, the speed here is just something to behold, as it's close between the two UOL athletes. And the last thing we want to see, however, is of course a false start.
Yeah, so this is the last really competitive race. So this is the 4x50 metre freestyle relay. So you're going to have the ladies and the men's, and you're going to have it for both the A and B squads and the C and D. And then we're going to have a freshers 8x25 metre race, which is going to be rather interesting. Definitely, to say the least.
Absolutely. You'd love to be down there, wouldn't you, Connor?
I really do want to be down at the moment. I'm baking up. I feel like a roast potato, to be honest. I want to be down there diving into that pool.
Connor, you're just hot stuff.
All I can say is do not get yourself injured just before varsity. It does you no good whatsoever.
Yes. But of course, as they're coming to the end, so UOL 1-2.
As with earlier, they're taking the big points. Right, DMU, they're still looking happy, they're still going for it, they're still cheering, they've got their duck song singing about their vodka at the bottom of the pool. They love it.
Yes, they do.
Absolutely.
We'll just take a brief pause while they set up for the next.
It is. So it's the C and D squad who are going to be doing the 4x50 metre freestyle relay for the ladies. And then after that we're going to be going back to our A and B squad for the men's, whereas the last truly competitive points that are on offer here. Can DMU get a last little increase in their points, or are we going to be seeing University of Leicester open up the gap once more?
My money's on UOL. Again, a hush descends as they set off.
So as with a relay, as always, it's not always over. Even if a gap is opened up in the first leg or even in the second leg, it can still be close. As we saw earlier, DMU are in the lead, and however they end up finishing third after the University of Leicester really caught up with them.
Yes, they did. Again, this one's much more about technique than anything else, isn't it?
Definitely. So technique is really, really important. You've got to have the right technique, otherwise you're going to be flailing around in the pool. Swimming's all about energy efficiency. You want to be putting the same amount of energy in as you're getting out from the other side. If you're flailing about, you're going to be putting energy in and not actually moving anywhere. It's like a speedboat. If you're not streamlined, you don't have the right technique, you're going to be going slower. It's like putting the engine of a speedboat on the Titanic and wondering why it can't beat a speedboat over a 10-metre sprint. Just it's not going to have that power to push it along.
No, it's all about that power to weight ratio at the end of the day. As we see a great entrance there from the DMU athlete. She's really doing a superb job, pushing through, again, fighting all the way through to the finish, which is the important thing.
So as we said, as Ellie Blowing, who we had up here in the studio earlier, she's really enthusiastic about today. She wasn't feeling too confident this morning, but she's just really, really stuck her head down, got on with it, and she's absolutely loving it.
Yes, and it's the passion that we can see from the athletes that makes me feel so good. Connor, the passion.
It is. It's all about passion here. We may not come out the winners of today, but we've put on a bloody good show.
Yeah, and you know what? I think at the end of the day, it looks like each sort of athlete's kind of, yes, they're involved in one large race, but they're almost going through their own race in their own head. It's every man and woman for themselves. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you win or if you lose. Maybe, improving on a personal best, taking a second off of your PB, whatever it is, getting within 5. It's about that. That's what counts.
Exactly. It's all about personal goals. Like my personal goal for today was to get out of bed and make sure this show gets on the road. We've had a brilliant show today, actually. Watching this lot go, they've absolutely smashed it. They've been brilliant. The support that's in the QE2 currently is amazing.
Exactly, and that's what Varsity's about at the end of the day. It's a support. It's non-athletes like myself with my with my non-sporting physique, getting involved in cheering all our athletes on. They make me feel unfit, but that's fine with me, because at the end of the day, they're all doing a superb job.
So if you want to join in any sport, just get involved. Yeah, there's only not long left of the year, but go and speak to one of the sports clubs, try and get involved. You've got DMU Active, get involved in that. Even over the summer, you pick up a new sport like Tom. I'm pretty sure you're going into some ultramarathons over the summer, aren't you?
I was going to until I messed my knee up, unfortunately.
Oh, there we go.
Absolutely. I've been told swimming would be good for me, but I'm no good at it, Connor.
There's only one way to find out. You've got to try.
No, you're the triathlete, aren't you?
I am the try.
Absolutely.
But no, at the start of the year, I was in the D squad. Even now, I've been asked to move into C, but I've sort of stayed in D.
You like the D, don't you? You like the D. You want to keep the D.
I like my little group that we've got in the D squad.
You like your little D? Okay, good to know, Connor. Good to know. As the men are now off.
Connor is leaving the studio for that comment.
Connor has left me. He's having a little bit of a strop, but that's not a problem. I've got you. I'm going to keep you up to date with everything as the men now, second leg, preparing themselves here. Again, as we talk about, it's the athleticism, it's the effort here that really counts. Oh, and here, that support. The support is incredible. That's what it's all about. We've talked about it time and time again. It's keeping your competitors in check by really cheering nice and loudly. Now, Connor's joined me again. He stopped having a stop.
In.
Hello, Connor.
I was getting really hot there, so let's go and have a breather out the stairs. It's baking in here.
It is baking. If you want to warm up from that horrible weather outside, come on down to the QE2 Leisure Centre. There's still a bit of time to see some wonderful athletes put in some incredible performances. They'll make you feel unfit like me. Don't you worry.
That's our job, Tom. That's our job.
Yes, well, as I say, Connor, some people would think of you as an athlete. But right now you're injured, aren't you? Which is so sad.
I'm sadly out injured. Both a hand and calf injury, so I'm currently well out. It's going to be interesting. I've got a race in a couple of weeks for running. Don't think I'm going to be there at this rate.
You and me both. You and me both.
Yeah.
But an incredible, valiant effort there from UOL, taking the lion's share of the points.
They did. And that is really all the competitive races gone. So we've got the C&D squad coming up in a minute. But as we said earlier, they don't compete for points. They compete just for the friendly nature of Varsity, as everyone wants to. It's the experience.
This year's C&D is might be next year's A and B is.
Exactly. It's one of these things. In a few years' time, you're going to be able to say, I raced at Varsity. I had such a good time. It's one of these things people can look back and they can tell their kids and tell their grandkids in 20, maybe even 30 years' time.
Grandkids in 30 years' time? That's very unoptimistic of you, Connor.
You never know. Maybe even 50 years' time. Then I'll put it up just for the grandkids. But here we are with the C&D squads.
There are some good beards on show here, I must say.
Tom does appreciate a good beard.
I can't imagine they're particularly aerodynamic though.
Neither do I. And what's this? There's a dab going on. I'm loving this. Oh,
And his
that
start
was
suffers from
probably
the
one of the
dab.
most brilliant races I've ever seen. Like a dab to start a race. That was something new. That's something new.
Surely that can't be
Jack,
legal.
Jack can't stop laughing to the side of us. He's rolling round in his chair.
He's almost ruffling, one might say.
But it is a very close race between DMU and University of Leicester in first place. Who's this? So we've got Tom Woodley in our second position for the thing, and University of Leicester just slightly taking the lead clearly. And I've got full appreciation for the University of Leicester's D squad, who've just done a dab to start their race. What something to excite all the viewers out there.
I'm certainly excited.
You really sounded there, Tom. But who is this? So DMU's third leg for the C squad. I believe that's Vincent Putnam. And for the D squad, it is Ben. Ben will be taking the says. I can't find Ben's surname.
Ben McCauley.
It's not Ben. That is the University of Leicester racer. It is Ben Brown. There we go. That was it. Ben Brown. I knew it ended in an E. It's a funny spelling of Brown.
It's certainly warm up here, isn't it?
It is baking. And the University, DMU, have really got it going again.
Just listen to that crowd roar. It's certainly tight. The ambiance is unbelievable.
Yeah, the DMU, they know they've lost this, but they are still getting well into this. They're loving it. And it'll be interesting to see later on. They may have lost it, but when they go and celebrate later on the finish of Varsity and all the training that was done this year to get us here, they're really going to celebrate. That was very, very close there, Tom. Who do you think was that?
I saw DMU take it, I think.
Oh, brilliant! Even better.
Absolutely.
So that was Chris Tangu bring it in for us there. And it's Daniel Gulver to finish off. Well, yeah, Daniel. And I love how DMU are now shouting Daniel Todd, even though he's actually on Paul's side. Come on, Daniel Gulver. And he's finishing it off. And he's doing an absolute brilliant job. There we go. The cheers go up.
A great effort by all.
That was definitely a great effort.
What do we have up next?
We have the 8 by 25 metre freshers relay. But I'm going to leave you in the studio. I'm going to see if I can go and find one of the swim captains to try and have a chat with us in a minute, you know.
That would be lovely.
That'd be lovely, won't it? Just see how they feel let's win. But I will be back in a minute, and I'm going to leave you in the absolutely caring hands of Tom.
Capable, I think you'll find is the word you're looking for there.
No,
Capable.
caring. I wouldn't say capable. I'm the capable part of this duo.
Thank you very much, Connor, for being our little expert there. It's a shame he couldn't actually make it into the pool himself. But at the end of the day, there's a little commotion going on poolside, I must say. I'm trying to work out what's happening. The scores are in. I must say, I've just seen that the scores have come in, and it would seem that the final score was 114 points to the University of Leicester and 36 points to De Montfort University. A bit of a battering there, but you know, we'll allow it, because at the end of the day it's not the winning that counts but taking part. And I'd say actually that by far DMU have been the better supporters. You know, they've been cheering, they've not given up hope. One of the disappointing things to see is how UOL, when they're not winning, the crowd's not cheering. Whilst for DMU, that's absolutely not the case. They are there, going wild the entire time. Now, do remember, of course, if you have any questions for us, you can tweet us in at Demon TV or at Demon Media. We will see your tweets and get those questions answered. For example, we've had a question in from Becky. Becky would like to know how she can get involved with swimming. And as Connor was saying, there's so many different ways to get involved with swimming. And in fact, Connor's just here and he can tell you some of the ways to get involved. Becky on Twitter got in touch asking how she can best get involved.
So if you want to get involved in swim and try or any sport, just look on the De Montfort Student Union website. You can find out how to sign up for all the clubs there, or follow us on Instagram at DMU Swim and Try, or Twitter with the same hashtag, and on Facebook as well. And you can get involved. But for now, I've dragged one of our captains into the studio actually, and as we mentioned earlier about Adam being the heroic photographer of the group and taking all the photos even though he's injured. But he's here to have a word. Tom, have you got any questions for him?
Absolutely. I've got a couple of questions here. We've seen an incredible performance from the athletes today. It's not been a winning performance, unfortunately, but definitely strong. Where do you think the future is for DMU Swim and Try?
Well, there's definitely improvement across the club. We've even had some members who have joined after Christmas. They're already here competing for us. They've definitely, we've seen massive improvement across the entire squad, which is really great to see.
Absolutely, and although we're talking about Varsity today, one of the things I noticed about Swim and Try is a couple of weeks ago you were fundraising, weren't you?
Yes.
You were outside of the campus centre steps. Do you want to tell everybody at home a little bit about that?
So we had a 24-hour triathlon where members of our team were taking turns with hour slots on either a rowing machine, a stationary bike or a treadmill to raise money for Loros, which is a hospice charity centred here in Leicester. We've currently managed to raise over £1,000 for that. I'm not sure on the exact number. There are definitely other members of the team who will be better suited to give you that.
That's absolutely incredible. And one last question for anybody at home who might be thinking, is swimming and try the sport for me? What would you say to help convince them and really get them involved?
Well, our team caters to all the ranges, so even if you're not sure, come along, get in the pool. We'll love to see you love to see you swimming.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's much appreciated, and give our best to all the team.
So there you go, that was Adam. I'm back in the studio, but thank you to Adam who came in and talked a little bit to us about how he thinks the team's doing and how you can get involved.
Absolutely, and that's what Varsity's all about at the end of the day. It's trying something new, it's being inspired. And I know I've certainly been inspired by the wonderful performances here, as of course we're seeing this fantastic 8x25 fresher relay.
We have. This is something that I didn't realise was actually happening. It's really good to see. So this is all the freshers that have got involved this year, and it's the fact, it shows how many members we're lucky enough to have.
Absolutely.
Just because of the fact that we've got eight members.
The noise from the crowd is going wild.
It's going wild. It's messing with it.
It's really incredible to see. You know, I think everybody here, the support from everyone. This is what makes Varsity. This is what makes sport. It's watching incredible athleticism like we have. And
here we go. We've got a cheer coming out from UOL that we're not liking this. We're not liking this. I should have met in the studio. We want to hear more from DMU. So for all those DMU lot listening out there, get cheering, get up on your feet, and we're going to show them how it's done in our home turf.
Absolutely. UOL take the victory there. But a hard-fought battle from DMU. Fantastic performance as the competitors line across the entire swimming pool. You know, it's all about them at the end of the day, really, isn't it? It's all about these guys, the fantastic work they've put in. You know, the people will have been training for, as you said, 4 or 5 months for this.
Yeah, since the start of the year, people have had this in sight. People who weren't competing really wanting to be competing at the start. So,
and here we go, as you can hear the hip hip hoorays. And there we go, that's what it's all about, the camaraderie, the sportsmanship and the incredible athleticism.
So as we said, so sadly for DMU it isn't the points we were looking for, but we still did very, very well. They kept on going through, they kept a really positive attitude. And even and they're back in the pool, they've dived in, they're having a bit of a splash about. That's what you want to see. Absolutely,
no tears here, just hearts full of pride at the effort and the performances that they all put in.
Yeah, I believe that. So that'll be us for coverage. I'm afraid I've been Connor Richardson.
And I've been Tom Chapman.
And that is it for us for Swim and Try. And we'll hopefully see you next year.